Bucks versus pregame show. Bucks versus Chargers pregame. Yeah, exactly. You guys can come over if you want. Then we'll get on camera if you want, okay? Yeah, come over and we'll get you on. And what you're listening to right now is a sound check live from Ferg's as we got the best hot dog anywhere card coming up to us. How you doing, Green Bay? What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Plenty of people getting ready. That's it. You heard Leo Haggerty in the background. No Harry 3. No Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. But we got you covered. I feel like a DJ all over again. You can't see my face. So we're ready to go. 2 minutes and 50 seconds left to go. Do you hear me? I hope you do, Bucks Nation. That's good. All right, here we go. Ready? That's it. I'm going to put my little highlight button in there. Watch this. Boom. Wake up, Bucks Nation. Here we go. The phone lines are open. 727-255-0391 is that new techno music. Hopefully it doesn't get us copyrighted. It's always good to not have copyright, Leo Haggerty. You ready for this show today? 50 seconds. Here we go.
Right here on the street with the common man.
That's it. I love that. You got to love that. You got to absolutely love that. And then we're about to hit the intro there with Go Bucks. Gotta love that. Let me play some sound effects. Hold on a second. Let's see. How about Todd Bowles? It is exciting, Todd. Your defense better be excited today. That's for sure. How about some Byron?
How about them Bucks, baby?
Yeah, baby. Gotta love it. Let's get some Macho Man.
Woo, yeah.
For you wrestling fans out there, you nerds. And hopefully, I'm not giving it away. Let's see. Here comes the intro. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television here live from Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the legend himself, former Coach Scott and now media member of Night Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports.
Book him, Dano.
Mr. Leo Haggerty, welcome to downtown St. Pete as we get you ready for Bucks versus the Chargers. Are you ready to eat, and are you ready for this game today? Welcome to the Evolution.
Oh, thank you, Peter. It's always nice to be on with the hardest working sports analyst and journalist in the Tampa Bay area.
I appreciate that.
I was talking about myself.
Well, yeah, I kind of thought you were. And, how do we start off this show as you got jokes? And I always get a chance to get a laugh with you. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Open phone lines if you want to get in on them. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. You know how this works, Bucks Nation. You call in. You give me your thoughts about this game. You give me the player of the game. You give me a score prediction. And then we get you out of here and we get you ready for your game versus the Bucks or versus the Chargers in LA. The Bucks come into this game on a 3-game winning streak, of course, disposing of the Giants, the Panthers, having a tough time with the Raiders, but it is what it is right now.
A win is a win.
And the Bucks are 7-6 right now, looking at it from the standpoint of being in first place and being a must-win game because you can't afford to lose, because if you do, you got the Atlanta Falcons, who, by the way, they have that 2-game advantage over you, and they play none other than the Raiders, who will give them a tough game, but certainly a winnable game. So at the end of the day, the Bucks have to keep this momentum.
Oh, the biggest problem is I don't think the Raiders want to win. They want to stay in that first draft pick conversation
right
with the Giants.
Right.
And it's a shame because that's the way of the world in the NFL. It is. The worse you are, the better off your draft pick is. So that's going to be an interesting game out in Vegas tomorrow night because you got Chicago and Minnesota, and you got the Raiders and Atlanta. So you got a double dip tomorrow night. And I'll tell you what, Peter.
Yes.
This is the easiest game to predict, and here's why.
Okay.
Under 20, Chargers win. Over 20 points, the Bucks win. The Chargers want to turn this into a street fight.
Mm-hmm.
They want it to be played in a phone booth.
Right.
The Bucks want it to be a shootout. I hope that it gets to that shootout. I'll have my prediction at the end.
Well, of course, we'll have our predictions at the end, and again, we'll be getting you ready for this game as the Bucks are coming in at 28 points, 27.9. I'll round up here. You're a teacher, you know all too well. Didn't do quite well when it comes to math, but I'll do my best there. 28 points a game for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team, and of course, it starts with the quarterback, with Baker Mayfield. And you look at last week's game, too many turnovers, and even he would say that was too many turnovers, and you're not going to get away with that. Listen, you may be able to get away with that with the Raiders, but you're not going to do that with a Chargers team. And to me, this seems like strength on strength. A very good offense, one of the top 5 offenses in the NFL, I believe 3rd in points for this Bucs team versus a Raiders team, probably their best defense they've faced all year long. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I'd put it right up there.
Okay.
It's of the teams they've played.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Right now, this is probably the toughest defense they've played.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I wouldn't want to play Philadelphia. I wouldn't want to play Detroit.
Right.
Simply because they're getting better and they're getting healthy.
Isn't it crazy because there is the emphasis or there is the thought process that this Bucs team is not that good, that they could have lost some games. They wish they could have. They could have also won some close games, but that team beat the Detroit Lions. That team beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And they beat the Lions on the road, and ever since they beat the Lions haven't lost a game. Haven't lost a game. Ever since you dispose of the Philadelphia Eagles, they have been a different team. So we know what this Tampa Bay Buccaneers squad can do. We also know what this defense can do, which is played a lot better, you would have to say. Todd Bowles, again, from the fan base, from whether it's the national media or whatever, he could be on the hot seat, of course, with the expectations. But I think that's a little bit unfair, especially with all the injuries. And with all that being said, he still has this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team first in the NFC South at 7-6.
Absolutely. And when you look at what's happening with the Buccaneers, they're playing with their 4th and 5th string safeties today.
Right.
I mean, Edwards is out, the backup. Jerome Whitehead is out. Antoine Winfield is out.
Correct.
You're going to see a lot of stuff down the middle by the Chargers.
Okay.
They're going to try to exploit the middle of the field with new safeties in the game. They're going to try to confuse the Bucs with pre-snap motion, pre-snap shifting. Thank God they're not playing the Los Angeles Rams because, that's like looking at the Rockettes. They just moving all over the place.
Yes.
But again, when you look at this football game, the Buccaneers want it to be a high-scoring affair. They want to get their offense into the 30s because they're scared to death that their defense isn't going to hold up. And again, they're getting great play out of Nelson. They're getting great play out of Vita Vea, out of Chansey, out of Hall. They're getting great play there. But Britt's out too. I mean, you're just – I know it's next man up, but
yes,
when it gets to next man up, it gets a little uncomfortable.
And the Bucs signed Deion Jones. No word if he's going to play in this game or not, the former linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons. So once again, the Bucs shorthanded at that linebacking situation. But you look at the Bucs inactives, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Right now, KJ Britt out, Ernest Brown, defensive lineman out, Devin Culp, Mike Edwards, a big-time loss there after you pick him up from Tennessee. Royce Newman, guard, Jose Ramirez, and Antoine Winfield Jr. So once again, at some key positions, especially linebacker and safety, the Bucs are quite thin, but guys got to step up, and they did that last week with Christian Itzian stepping into that role there. You had Kayvon Merriweather. He stepped up, made some plays, and you also had the return, which I think is a major return for this Bucs back end, and that be Mr. Tyke Smith, the rookie out of Georgia.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? If you're national media, you're looking at the Bucs win.
Yeah.
And you know what? Is it a signature win? No.
Right.
But it's a win.
Right.
That's all that matters. You never discount a win in the National Football League.
No.
Yeah, they beat the Giants. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Panthers. Not top echelon teams, but it's still on the schedule.
Yeah.
This is going to be a barometer. This is going to be that high water mark or low water mark to see what the Buccaneers can do. And again, look for Todd Bowles to blitz, and more blitz because he wants to try to get this game up to speed. He doesn't want it to be a 3 yards in a cloud of dust because right then you're going to wear down that defensive line. The key is get the lead and play keep away from the Chargers.
There you go. And it's a tough matchup today with the LA Chargers, who, of course, come into this game flying high, nearly beat the Chargers. There goes my lights. And you got to love the wind. So we lost a little bit of a light there. Stand by for a moment. Let me go ahead and set that light up again. And you go ahead and carry this show really quick.
Getting to know all about you. Well, let's take a look around the league. We got Pittsburgh coming in to play Philadelphia in a huge game, Battle of Pennsylvania. The Steelers haven't won in Philadelphia since 1965. Some of you listeners haven't been alive that long. So, yeah, that's a huge game. You got a huge game, Minnesota and Chicago. They got to stay. And we haven't even got to the biggest one yet, Peter. Yes. Detroit and Buffalo.
Yes, and I don't know, by the way, I don't know how that's not a primetime game for the national. What's the primetime game tonight for that not to be the Sunday night or the Monday night? And could they flex that game? Would you like to see that game on Sunday night with the Bucs, or not the Bucs, with the Bills versus the Detroit Lions? Why is that not flexed at this point?
Green Bay and Seattle. That ain't a bad one, Peter.
No, it's not a bad one, but it's not. And again, the Chargers coming here at 8-5, the Bucs 7-6 on a 3-game winning streak at this point. With the way they've played, what have you seen from this Bucs team overall in their wins versus the Giants, the Panthers, and of course now the Raiders?
Well, with Evans playing hurt and Godwin out, the fact that they're winning games, McMillan has stepped up. There's no doubt about that.
Correct.
And Shepard has become just Baker Mayfield's buddy. I mean, he looks for Shepard. And Kate Otten, where did he come from? All of a sudden, and again, I said this to people, listen, 3 things a quarterback wants: a good offensive line, a really good running game, and a great tight end that can get down the middle.
Yes.
The Bucs, all of a sudden, Kate Otten is that guy.
Yes.
Which is great for the Buccaneers.
He showed that last week. You look at his numbers, leading receiver, 3 catches for 70 yards. Other statistics to take away from it. You talked about it with this Buccaneer team. Of course, Jalen McMillan with 2 touchdowns. First one there on that first long drive, but 4 catches for 59 yards. And that's exactly what they're going to need from this young rookie who, look, at the end of the day, the first half of the year, he's been a rookie. And we thought, coming out of training camp, there was going to be more of an impact from him. He hasn't necessarily shown that, but maybe this is his second half. Maybe this is his opportunity. It's got to be his opportunity. It's either him or Sterling Shepard. 4 catches for 63 yards versus the Raiders last week. So somebody has to step up because who's going to be bracketed coverage. That's going to be Mike Evans. That's going to be on test today, once again, against this Chargers back end.
And you know what, Peter? Roy Cummings and I had a great conversation about Mike Evans after church yesterday. We went in there, said a prayer for the Bucs and all that. The fact that Mike Evans is still not looked at by the national media as a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Correct.
I mean, think about this. Look at the quarterbacks he's played with, and he's been able to put up 1,000 yards. Finally, when Tom Brady came here, and I think Evans made Brady because all of a sudden, Tom Brady's got a 6'6" target.
Well, it's like Randy Moss all over again,
but even taller.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And all of a sudden.
And by the way, prayers out to Randy Moss, who's battling liver cancer, which was shocking this week to hear. Such a young man, but it happens. Life is precious, especially when it comes to that C word. So prayers out to him and his family. But a very talented wide receiver when it comes to Moss, and a lot of people would equate, the height, maybe not necessarily the athleticism. I think Mike Evans is deceptive with his route running and his speed, if you will. He will get deep. He won't get deep like Randy Moss, but he can give you that mismatch nightmare, and that's the great thing with Brady working with him. But for so many years with Evans, and of course, by the way, 410 receiving yards to tie Jerry Rice for the consecutive, yeah, 11 consecutive.
He has the record now because he has 11 straight.
Right. Well, I thought it was this year was 11. But I thought he already had 10. He had 11 this year, and then he surpasses Rice next year as well.
But Rice didn't have it his first year. I think Evans has the record for consecutive.
Wow. Okay.
I think.
Well, there you go.
Hey.
Yeah, that's why you're the legend. You're correcting me. I'm correcting you, and we're doing it together here.
Come on, Buccaneer fans.
Yes.
Somebody come in and say, hey, what's the story with Evans? I think it's consecutive.
Right.
Now, he needs another one sometime to get tied with Rice, I think, and then pass Rice if he's got a second one. But when you look at what's going on, and I used to preach this when Keyshawn Johnson was here.
Right.
Everybody said, well, Evans has trouble getting separation. When you're 6'6", you turn around, you separate.
Right.
Unless there's a 6'6" defending back playing. Guess what? There's not.
It's tough.
And all you got to do is if he turns in or he turns out, put it on that shoulder.
Correct.
And what Baker Mayfield really does a good job of is putting the ball in a catchable spot.
Right.
Now, again, what the Raiders did last week was they shook him up. And you know what? When you can't protect the quarterback and he starts, as Ron Jaworski told us, when you look at the rush, there's a problem. And how do you look at the rush? You put color in his face. And that's exactly what the Raiders do. Look for Bosa and Mack to come off the edge.
Okay.
Off the edge and come off hard. Now, Baker knows this.
And that's the toughest matchup today is those pass rushers. Again, this is why I equate this could be the toughest Bucs or opposing defense the Bucs have faced this year because you have those two stalwarts, if you will, their counterparts, Khalil Mack and, of course, Joey Bosa, which will be tough for this offensive line. And I've been critical, but, Harry the Greek, he kind of put me in my place a little bit. He said he watched film, and he felt like Baker got more time than he's had all year long versus this Raiders team and that's saying something versus Max Crosby, although this Bucs offensive line still gave up sacks. From what you saw last week, was Baker running into some of those sacks, or was the pressure just there and the line not playing as well? Because in the last couple of weeks there, against the Carolina Panthers, you give up 4 sacks. Against the Raiders, you give up 4 sacks. So some concern there for you?
Grasshopper, you are learning.
I am.
I appreciate that.
I am. I'm learning from you.
Watch what happens with the footwork. Again, I'm going to go back to Ron Jaworski.
Yes.
I'm name dropping.
Yes. But and we'll have him on the show, by the way, in a couple weeks.
When you come off the edge, it forces the quarterback to step forward.
Okay.
And what the teams have been doing, the Raiders and Carolina. And let's give Dave Canales some credit. He knew what he needed to do to get Baker off his game.
Sure.
And the quickest way to get him off his game is to come hard off the edge, not let him escape outside, make him go forward, and hopefully there's a guy there. And in the second quarter on, first quarter was all Buccaneers.
Sure, absolutely.
Then all of a sudden the Raiders figured it out. Let's come hard off the edge, make him step up, and we've got a guy there to make it happen. When Baker can throw it on rhythm, when he can go back, hit that 3-step, 5-step, step up, throw it, bang, bang, bang. If he's got to hold it, now there's a problem. And that's what was happening in the second, third quarter. He was getting time, but he had to hold it. Keep in mind, they're looking for the pictures they get in practice.
Right.
And if all of a sudden that defensive back knocks the receiver off his stride, or if the linebacker drops, or Baker didn't see that, it was a zone blitz and they dropped the defensive end off, and here comes the corner in a corner cat.
Yeah.
Okay, that's something to make the quarterback hold the football. That's the key, because these offenses are designed to work on rhythm, precision, and timing.
Let me go ahead and get you. Oops, sorry about that. No, absolutely. You're exactly right about that. And that's what it comes down to. And again, that's why it's so important for not only Evans, because you're going to get yours. You're going to get the yards from Evans. But, McMillan, Shepard, Otten, and then guys out of the backfield, and Rachaad White, who had a fantastic game last week. You look back at his numbers, 17 carries, 90 yards, and then also having a touchdown, 2 catches for 19. And what do you see from this running game? Because that's been the big-time story. And the big-time change, I think, to where this offense has become a top 5 unit, because they have that running game. It's all about balance, right? You have that balance with your running game. It makes the defense honest, and it takes pressure off your quarterback, and hopefully you don't have to throw 30, 40 times a game to win.
Well, if the Bucs have to throw it 30, 40 times a game, they're not going to win.
They're not going to win. Right.
It's just
correct.
Because now you're forcing Baker into drop back.
Right.
What he does the best is play action, but you can't have play action if you don't have a running game.
Sure.
Now, my biggest fear right now is Bucky Irvin's hitting the wall.
Okay.
Again, remember, they play 12 games, 13, 14. That's the max.
Yeah.
He's hitting game 14 now.
Yes.
And that's going to be critical. And that's probably why he's getting so beat up, because, and again, I was a little bit critical of Liam Cohen because he may have overused him.
Yeah.
Especially when you got Turner and you got White. I mean, it's a 3-headed monster.
Well, you got Tucker.
I got Turner. You got Tucker.
You got Turner. You got Turner, his brother, or his cousin right there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 here live from Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the legend himself, Mr. Book It Dano himself, Leo Haggerty, getting you ready for Bucs versus
Book 'em, Dano.
The LA Chargers, as the Bucs once again 7-6 face the Chargers,
and I'll
who
tell
are
you,
8-5.
I'll tell you one thing.
Yes.
That the Chargers will beat the Bucs on, and not too many teams do.
Yes.
The uniform game. There is no better uniform than that powder blue.
You like that powder blue, huh? You like that throwback?
Yeah.
I kind of like the creamsicle, although at first you didn't necessarily like the creamsicle because there's memories out there. And listen, there's some big games going on here today. It's not just Bucs versus the Chargers. We're going to cover it. But, of course, you were wearing it when you came in. I'm surprised you took it off. It's okay if you take it off here because it is
for the show.
Right.
It's going back on once the game
Philadelphia Eagles versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got a big party upstairs there. Reserve your parties. Great food. Looking forward to the chicken wings today. Looking forward to the boneless wings today. Because when I'm around you and when you're around me, we're always going to eat. We're never going to be hungry here on the Evolution. Open phone lines, as always, 727-255-0391. And again, going back to that game, Baker Mayfield, 18 for 29, 295, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, including a fumble. There, I mean, overall, you can't have those turnovers. You got to play clean football. What do you see from Mayfield? Because he's been definitely the story of this offense. And I think, listen, at the end of the day, if you don't have Baker Mayfield, more than likely this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team is a 2 or 3 win ball club, period.
End of story.
Yes.
And again, you're going to play 17 football games.
Yes.
You're not going to have 17 A-plus games.
Yes.
The key is when you're having that B minus, C plus game that the guys around you aren't having it.
Yeah.
Again, look at what happened. McMillan stepped up. Shepard stepped up. White stepped up on offense. And the defense made just enough plays to make it happen.
Right.
And again, the one thing I think the Bucs got away with, and I got a feeling he got fined.
Sure.
When O'Connell got hurt. That was I'm amazed he didn't get penalized.
Well, yeah, and that's Kalijah Kancey, who's definitely shown out a little bit, shown some flashes of brilliance. You're going to need that. You're going to need that consistent pass rush from a Yaya Diaby, from a Nelson, and, of course, from a Kalijah Kancey.
Is Nelson playing just phenomenal?
I think he is. I think he's finally getting that opportunity, Leo, and talk about that because that kid's from Iowa. Of course, Kirk Ferentz, the coach there, we know that he's going to coach football players. Maybe they're not the most athletic, but you look at Tristan Wirfs, he's been phenomenal. Greg Kittle, he's been phenomenal.
They are going to be sound, fundamental football players.
Exactly.
And that's what you want.
And listen, he does nothing flashy, but when Nelson gets the opportunity, he's finally getting that opportunity now. He's starting to show up.
He doesn't make that play in Carolina, the Bucs lose.
The Bucs lose. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's put it this way.
Yes.
There's a field goal. They're going to have to score in the next possession.
Correct.
And the worst thing was Carolina was chewing up clock.
Right.
So you may not have had a whole lot of time.
Right. And let's see here. Let me see with the Chargers because I'm just reading it off the Twitter as we speak. Late game actives include the Chargers, Ladd McConkey. Talk about this kid out of Georgia, and also Bucky Irving is active. He's not on the inactive, so exciting for Bucs fans. Really quick, McConkey, what do you see with this kid coming out of Georgia? Once again, a rookie. Kind of what makes him tick? Why does he work so well with Justin Herbert, who's a phenomenal quarterback, and you're going to have to face him today in this Jim Harbaugh-led offense?
Well, this may be a little bit insensitive and inappropriate, but just because he's a white guy doesn't mean he can't play wide receiver.
Well, exactly.
And
right.
The kid can play. He's proven it at Georgia. He's proving it now with the Chargers. And he's got the right coach. He's got the guy who just goes down to Walmart, buys a pair of khaki pants, puts on a Chargers shirt, and he's going to coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a guy there that is just his type of coach.
Are the Chargers a scary team for you?
Oh, absolutely. Hey,
tell everybody why, because
ask the Kansas City Chiefs right now.
Right, but they're able to run the ball. They don't have explosive weapons, although McConkey's going to be back. You have Palmer on that team. Nothing, nothing too explosive, if you will. Not like the wide receivers they had last year when they were healthy, and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. But they can run the ball. Herbert doesn't turn over the ball, which is always a good thing.
Guess how many turnovers they have this year?
How many turnovers do they have?
Guess. In 13 games. Guess.
5.
6. 6 turnovers.
That's winning football.
They are a plus 10. You got to beat the Chargers. They don't beat themselves. And when you look at what's going on, I mean, I don't know who Andy Reid goes to, what pastor or what church, but I'll tell you what, him and Mahomes, I'll tell you what, they're saying a lot of mea culpas, maxima culpas, because they are winning in the strangest ways. How about the doink field goal last
I'm telling you. And the Chiefs figured it out today. Last check, what was it? 21-0. 21-0. Let's go out to some of the NFL scores really quick. 21-7. You got me right there. But coming into it, Justin Herbert, check out this touchdown to interception ratio. 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's winning football. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. 0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to the comments as we always read comments and also take your phone calls. Let's go out to Space Windu. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go out to Megan there. And all these people right now are on YouTube. So YouTube Super Chats are open. Facebook Stars, of course, are open. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Let's go. Let's go. LFG is right. That's why I kept that Brady thing around. I know Harry the Greek doesn't like that. Do you like that sound effect?
I'm a little concerned because it's a damn loud.
It is. It's Tom Brady right there. Go Bucks all day, every day. Absolutely fire those cannons, as we always do. Sitton says 24-17 Bucks over the Chargers. Is that what you see?
I would agree. If it gets
and
to
you
20,
said that. If it gets over 20, why is that important? Explain that to the people out there. Expound on that point of why it has to get over 20 in order for this to be a Bucks victory, in your opinion.
The Chargers want to play this in a phone booth. They want it to be a street fight.
Okay.
They want it in the teens. They want that. The Bucks don't want to get into a mano-on-mano game in the trenches because they're, and again, if they can protect Herbert, there's going to be guys running routes on the 4th and 5th safeties, backup linebacker. And again, everybody's going through this. But the Bucks are really getting hit.
Look at this. Bucks fans coming in right there. Mike Evans, Tom Brady right there. You're on the Sports Web, the evolution of sports talk television. You guys want to get on and talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? What's your name?
My name is Jack, and I think Mike Evans still gets his 1,000 yards this season.
Okay, why do you think he gets his 1,000 yards?
One, I just think there's way too many games left. I think he's too close.
Okay.
And 3, no, I skipped 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think 2, we got the Saints and the Panthers left still, right?
Yes, you got yes, you do. Yes.
The Saints secondary is trash. Panthers secondary is getting a little bit better game by game, but they're still trash. So I think Mike Evans is on a cool pace for at least 200 yards a game, starting tonight with the Chargers. I know the Chargers are nice. I do know that.
Right.
But I think we beat them because they don't have their backfield figured out.
Do me a favor, share that mic with him on that. I can't really hear him that well. Go ahead and say what you were saying there. Go ahead.
What I was saying is there's way too many games left for Mike Evans to not hit 1,000 yards. And I think that the Chargers backfield tonight is without J.K. Dobbins. I get it. Gus Edwards, you're a good guy. You're just not enough to carry them to the win tonight. If we were playing the Chargers team that was around about 3 weeks ago, it'd be a different story. But I think Mike Evans gets his 1,000 yards this season. I think the Bucs beat the Chargers tonight 27-24. Mike Evans gets at least 175 yards.
175 yards
I know
for Mike
crazy
Evans.
Because he's old, but I think he gets
it's not crazy. What's your name right there, sir? Go ahead. Tell us your name.
Jack Cleary from St. Petersburg, Florida.
Jack Cleary. All right. Definitely go like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. And come back at halftime, and we'll get your thoughts on that,
I was
okay?
just going to say, we're going to have to check in at halftime.
Yes, halftime and post-game show.
See you around 5:30.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll be here.
Sounds good right there, Jack. All kinds of Bucs fans live here at Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. I don't know what's wrong with that mic there. It didn't work as well as I wanted it to.
Peter, there's a plethora.
Well, plethora. Listen to you with the SAT word.
There's a plethora of different fans here today. I mean, I bet you would find one fan from every 32 teams.
You got to love that. And we're supposed to have Mark Ferguson come on here in just a little bit. Him and his son run this place, especially Mark, since 1992. Just celebrated their 32-year anniversary for Fergs. And you got to love this. You come out here, and there's all kinds of football fans. But I tell you right now, that Carolina game, the last game we were here for, there was electricity in the air. There were Bucs fans screaming. There were Bucs fans on their edge of their seats. And they're all walking down here on the sidewalk looking at this and saying, what is the Sports Web? It's a cross between a TV and radio show without the stations. That's what it is.
No commercials.
No commercials at all. We like to get some commercials. We'll get some sponsors eventually. But, yeah, it's commercial free. And we got your phone calls, as always, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's get back to our comments right there. He says 27-24. So he's right. He's agreeing with you. You got to get over 20 points in order to win this game.
I think so.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a closer game only because the Bucs are going to have to throw it. It's going to have to be quick passes. It's going to have to be 3-step drop, get in, get out.
Yes.
Because, Bosa and Mack are coming. And Harry brought up a great point. You want to run at Mack. Well, good luck with that if you can't run the football.
Well, that's what you want to do. And a lot of people will go back to Irving here because we talked about Ladd McConkey. What do you do with this running back rotation? Bucky's active. Is he going to see more carries than he saw versus the Raiders? Because he saw, 3 or 4 carries, and then he was on the bench. And, White saved the day there with the 17 carries. This Bucs team overall rushing for over 125 yards, which is impressive, which I think is what their key to this game today to win. So do you expect to see more of Bucky Irving? Because certainly I wouldn't think he's active if you didn't think he was going to be in the game plan. So is he on a pitch count? In your opinion, Leo, how many carries do you give Mr. Irving? How do you divide this up, if you will, this 3-headed monster between White, Irving, and Tucker?
10, 10, and 10. It's real simple.
Okay.
It's real simple.
Okay.
Because
I like it.
What the Bucs do the best is they get their running backs involved in the passing game.
Yes.
And again, I can remember asking many coaches, is running back a misnomer? I said, yeah, you got to be a catching back. You got to be a blocking back.
Sure.
You just can't be a running back unless you're Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
There's a whole different dynamic with that.
How do you see that matchup today? Because I know there's Eagle fans walking in. Once again, a big-time game today, not just Bucs and Chargers, but the Philadelphia Eagles against the Pittsburgh Steelers. How do you see this working out? Because, listen, the Eagles with Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown.
Hold on. I was saying, go Birds!
All right, so there you go right there. You got a Bills fan right there. Fly,
yes.
Eagles, fly. Plenty of Eagle fans here. You just saw a Bills fan. That's a great game coming up here at 4 o'clock. I mean, pick your poison at this point. But Steelers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. How do you see this matchup playing out?
Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia.
That's a huge part of the game.
Right.
Weather is not an issue, which it can be in December up in the Northeast.
Right.
Mike Tomlin's defense gives people trouble.
Yes, it does.
And the Steelers' defense is always good because that 3-4 that they run, that inverted or converted 3-4, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
It's hard to prepare for because they do unorthodox things that are successful.
Right.
They'll bring people off the edge that aren't edge people. They'll drop, and when you
got Eagle, all kind, and they're going upstairs right now. We talked about this, and you can reserve it. And I know you like to be up there, but you're down here with me.
Hell no.
We'll get some wings and we'll get some drinks. There you go, right there. Don't fall up those stairs as the Eagles are facing the Steelers, a big time game. So we'll see how that works out in Philadelphia. But who do you got the Eagles winning that game? Is there any doubt for you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's plenty of doubt.
What's the doubt?
Pittsburgh's defense.
Right.
You can't turn it over. And the Steelers are the best at punching the football out.
Very true.
So Philadelphia has to get the lead. Saquon is going to have trouble running against this defense. But you got to get the lead, and you got to keep pounding the rock, pounding the rock. Just wear them down. If they do that, I think it's not going to be a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be like 23-21 Eagles. Field goal at the end.
All right. I think we got a Bucs fan here. I don't know if he's looking at this. I don't know if he wants to come over and talk. We've had him on the show before. I don't know if this mic is going to work. It's not working. Hello, testing. It's not really working that well. So you're going to share it here with Leo. Get in here. Mr. Taylor.
Hello.
How you doing, Taylor? What's going on? Welcome to the Evolution. How do you see this Bucs versus Chargers today?
Man, like I said, I'm always a glass half full guy. I feel really good about the Bucs' chances. I think Chargers have a great defense. Here's what I think they need to do. Do what they've been doing. Run the ball, set up play action. One caveat, they need to take those deep shots to Evans. I think once a quarter. I know the Chargers have a great defense, but use the running game. Once they get past the 50, 40, I think at least once a quarter, let Mike run that go route. He's healthy. He's one of the best go route receivers of all time. They need to incorporate that back into the offense. Other than that, do what they do. Screens, running game. Give Mike Evans a couple deep shots. I think they'll be all right. I know Winfield's out, which might not be a bad thing because honestly, he hasn't been playing that well. I actually feel pretty good about Izzian. I think being back there, I believe I could be wrong, but I think Izzian's going to be.
Yeah. Itzian. It's going to be it's going to be a cross between Itzian and of course Kayvon Merriweather, who showed out last week, and also Tyke Smith. Very good for being an injured bunch there, injured unit, if you will. With that being said, going back to Evans, 410 yards. No concern that he gets the 1,000 yards. You think he pops off today?
I mean, obviously, Evans is my favorite player of all time now.
Right.
It used to be Ron.
Hall of Famer,
I
right?
love Evans.
First ballot Hall of Famer?
I would love him to get the record because, I mean, it would be Mike Evans and Jerry Rice, and that's it.
Right.
And if he were able to do that one more season, it would be Mike Evans for 12 straight, and he would have that by himself. So it'd be great to get the record. Obviously, Bucs win is the most important thing. I think there's a chance he gets it. I mean, that last game they won, it was great. I was frustrated because there's no reason Mike Evans should only have 5 targets in a game, especially against the Raiders.
Right.
Chargers have a great defense. I believe they have 2 rookie cornerbacks. He's got to get more than 5 targets and give him some chances. So I would love him to get it. Obviously, Bucs win is the most important thing, but if he gets that record, that would be sweet.
So your player of the game right now, Taylor, is going to be Mike Evans. How many yards does he have today?
I don't know if he'd be
170?
player of the game. I want to be right. I want to be optimistic and say he gets maybe 115.
Okay.
He should have at least 80 yards. He should be in that ballpark. He needs to get a couple deep shots, whether they hit it or not. They just gotta. That's one thing I think this offense needs, especially later in the year, is that threat that Mike's still there, he's healthy, and they're gonna take a shot with him.
All right, good stuff there. Give me a final score for Bucs versus the Chargers.
I'm going to say 27-21 Bucs.
All right, there you go, 27-21. Once again, tell everybody out there you've been on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television live from Ferg's in downtown St. Pete.
Yeah, this is the Evolution Sports Talk with Peter Blake, and great show. Thanks for everybody tuning in, and go Bucs.
There you go. Go Bucs. Your check is in the mail. Well done, young man, right there. That guy is a professional. He should be doing this a lot more. He's been on this show before, joining us on the home games at What the Buck tailgate as we have been out there. We got to get you out there because they'll feed you there too.
Oh,
you would love that tailgate. They feed you barbecue chicken, homemade macaroni and cheese, baked beans, and then you do this afterwards. There you go, when nobody's looking.
No, I'll do it when they're looking anyway.
Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Live from Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, reading comments, talking to Bucs fans, people just walking up and down this sidewalk. My colleague, Mr. Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. Happy birthday, by the way, to your daughter out there. So where's that horn at? There we go. Priorities. He had a party today, but he set this thing up with Mark Ferguson. We appreciate you, buddy. And then, of course, Harry the Greek. He has a Christmas party. So you're filling in quite nicely. I knew you could. Yes, the left-hander. Bring in the left-hander really quick. Let's switch gears. We'll get back to the Bucs in a moment, get back to the comments. How surprised were you that Travis Hunter wins the Heisman Trophy last night? And was that the right decision? Because in my opinion, I thought he was multifaceted, could play wide receiver, defensive back. It's a good problem for an NFL team to have. But to me, the most talented player, maybe stats-wise, not necessarily, but were you surprised? And was it the right decision, Leo Haggerty, for him to win the Heisman?
I was surprised that he won it because he's a West guy.
Okay.
A lot of the Eastern media that vote on this didn't see him play a lot.
Okay.
And if you look at that, you had him and you had Gabriel, two West Coast guys, and you got Genty.
Yes, Austin Genty from Boise State.
In Boise, so
you're right.
And in Cam Ward.
Yeah,
but I think it was the right decision because the Heisman Trophy goes to the best athlete, and he was the best athlete.
There you go. Travis Hunter, for you, what do you do with him?
Defensive back.
So no wide receiver? with his size.
Small packages.
Okay.
Small red zone packages.
So do they kind of run, and it kind of goes back to maybe Devin Hester, because I kind of throw that back out there, and yesteryear to Mr. Harry the Greek. Does it go back to Deion Sanders, where you see an athlete play both sides of the ball? It's so difficult to do that in the National Football League. Would you expect that? Would Hunter demand that of an NFL team? And should an NFL team, adhere to that request, in your opinion?
Oh, it's impossible.
Okay.
Because where do you go for your team meeting?
Yeah.
When you're putting in the game plan.
It's a good problem to have. I just don't know if he can last. I don't know if his body can last.
And the bottom line is, where is he going to be the most effective?
Right.
I think at defense.
Okay.
Because he doesn't have the body of a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a body of a defensive back.
Right.
And he can dish out rather than have to take it.
Right.
And again, I put in packages for him.
Okay.
2 or 3, just to keep him happy.
Yes.
Just to keep the defense having to say, okay, we got to work on this.
Yeah.
But I don't see him as a full-time offensive player. I see him as a full-time defensive player.
Okay.
And a part-time offensive player.
All right, so part-time offensive player for Travis Hunter. We're live here from Ferg. Special shout-out to Up the Block Barbershop, as they got me looking right here from Ricky there. The barber does a great job. Don't go too far. Go Up the Block Barbershop there in Holiday, Florida, and tell them the Rolex Reporter sent you. All right, let's get back out to these comments, as we've been neglecting you webheads out there, but always, and the phone lines have been just crickets today. I don't know what's going on. Everybody just like, you don't care about this game? What's going on? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. What's the game start on this, by the way? What's the start time for the Bucs and Chargers? Is it 4:05 or 4:25?
4:25.
4:25. So we got a little bit of time here for you guys to call up. Yes, sir. Let's go, Bucs. Yours true. Check in. Big up. Thanks a lot for checking in. Let's go out to Tim here. Just want to see a winning effort. Winning and losing takes care of itself. No stupid penalties and stuff like that. And we know, listen, when you have turnovers, and we talked about that, but also facing a team like the Chargers who don't turn over the ball, who are well coached, that's an important facet of this game. Going forward here is the penalty situation, to not back yourself up, to not shoot yourself in the foot.
Got to stay ahead of the sticks, Peter.
Yes.
You've got to stay ahead of the sticks. And that's going to be for both teams.
Yeah.
If you get into second or third and long, look out.
Yes.
Todd Bowles is bringing the house, and Mack and Bosa are ignoring the run.
Yes.
So you may see a lot of second and third down and long runs.
Well, ask for calls, get calls. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're leading off the evolution of Sports Talk Television live from Ferg's.
Hey, it's yours too big a caller from Tampa, Florida.
What's going on, boss? How do you look at this game today? How do you match it up? Who's your player of the game? What are you looking at? Bucs versus the Chargers at 425.
I think he's gonna have to come down to Baker playing a mistake-free game.
Okay.
Because with the mistakes, that's what hurts us. But if he can play a mistake-free game, get back to the MVP play that he was doing earlier in the season, then I think that's what we're gonna need to get over this hump, beat the Chargers, and then it's all downhill from there, baby.
Well, yeah, and I agree with you on that. And it comes back to Baker, and I know there's a lot of people that are concerned about it, and it is a 425. I thought it was 405. It's 425. So we got a little bit of
all the games are 425.
It is 425. It is crazy today. Some great matchups, but you're exactly right. I think that's my biggest concern. And again, I'm not going to be naive about this. Baker Mayfield is the reason why this team is in playoff contention this year, and one of the main reasons why they're top 3, top 5 offense with the way he's played. But you're exactly right, with the gift and a curse with Baker Mayfield, because he wants to run, because he wants to scramble for that extra 1 or 2 yards. There is sometimes where you will turn over the ball. There is sometimes where he can do too much, and he can't do that today versus the Chargers. So I agree with you. He definitely has to have somewhat of a flawless game, because again, they're well coached. They don't turn over the ball, and if they beat you with the turnover battle, more times than not, they're going to win the game.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, like you said, Justin Herbert only has 1 interception all year.
Yeah.
They like to run the ball. We got to counter that with our own run game as well, though. We got to definitely run the ball to try to keep those edge rushers at bay because if we can run the ball up their gut, it'll kind of keep them from being able to get out to the quarterback, and then we can get the play action game working as well.
Yeah, and absolutely. And this is yours true, Bigga, right here. He's a content creator, has a lot of great Bucs songs out there. So we look forward to getting him on the evolution of Sports Talk Television in the future when you get that camera working, my friend. We'll definitely have some great content out there. So we'll definitely go ahead and promote that. So player of the game and score prediction.
Player of the game, Mike Evans. I'm going to say Mike Evans.
Okay.
Score prediction, 24-21 Bucs.
All right, 24-21 Bucs. So we'll give you that.
How about them Bucks, baby?
All right, Bigger. We'll see you on the halftime show in the post-game edition of the Evolution. All right, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go right there. Use that second call if you want to. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the Sports Web live here from Ferg's. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Leo Haggerty. As people are looking at me crazy right now, like I'm talking to the wall or talking to all the dogs around here that are walking around.
Let the dogs out.
Woo, 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 woo. And it's dog friendly. You got dog parks around here, plenty of food, plenty of football fans. You got to love Ferg's in downtown St. Pete. Want to go out to our guy right here, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, Best of the Bay, on Instagram Live. He said, shot looks great. Did you see Joe Tryon-Shoyinka's take? Need the outside linebackers to have the best to beat Chargers at. I don't even think is Joe Tryon-Shoyinka playing in this game. I don't even know if he's
not on the
inactive list. So you would think he was going to play in this game, but really, I think like going back to you, if Anthony Nelson is playing so well, why not allow him to continue to get those starting opportunities and rotate a JTS? What do you say?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because he's coming back. He's missed, what, 2-3 games
Yes,
now?
Correct.
So you don't want to go in and try to make him do 60 snaps.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And even when he does 60 snaps, you don't even know if he's on the field or not. I hate to say that, but what is it about his game that he has to improve besides the obvious of finishing and beating those one-on-one matchups? What do you see with his game? Because there's so much potential coming out of Washington. He hasn't fulfilled that. What does he have to do to get better at his game, in your opinion, Leo?
I don't know if this defense fits his skill set.
Okay.
You know, he was a hand in the dirt guy in Washington. You know, that was his thing. He was a pass rusher.
Right.
Now they're asking him to cover. And that's a problem. You would think you'd want to rush a 6'6" guy.
You would think.
Just to, have guys throw over top of him. I was hoping you'd see Nelson on one end and Shoyinka on the other end. That's two bookend big guys there.
Right.
But that's never materialized. So,
and you also have Diaby, who has shown flashes. You like to see more out of him. Kalaja Kansey, I think he's showing up. He's showing it. He's finally getting back to hopefully 100%. You've got to see that. They really – and it goes back to what BA talked about the Bucs, not being able to play enough man-to-man. They're playing zone because they're so beat up when it comes to this Bucs defense.
Well, when you're playing
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, you're playing your fourth and fifth safety.
All right.
That's
right. And you're not getting anything out of your linebackers.
Yeah. So they have to play man-to-man because they're blitzing.
Yeah.
You can't play zone and blitz. You can zone blitz. You can do that.
Sure.
But you know what? That's something you just.
What do we got? We got an update on the score right now. Washington up, and we were going to get to those NFL scores, but it looks like Washington
20-13.
20-13 just had a big strike there. So it looks like they will put Ryan Neal's Saints out of commission here as we're going to those scores right now. Washington up 20-13 with the rookie quarterback Jane Daniels. Big game for him on the road. Saints still fighting. Another quarterback, by the way, the 8th quarterback they've had since Drew Brees' retirement, which is amazing in itself. But it really tells you, if you don't have a quarterback in the National Football League
that can stay healthy
consistently and play effectively enough, then you don't have a quarterback. But 20-13 right now, fourth quarter, 2:27 left. Chiefs winning right now, fourth quarter, 5 minutes to go against the Cleveland Browns, which, by the way, water is wet, and Jameis Winston threw an interception this game, maybe threw multiple interceptions, but I know he threw one. 21-7, Chiefs over the Cleveland Browns. Bengals getting it done from my fantasy team there. Joe Burrow starting today, 31-21 over the Tennessee Titans. Texans beating the Miami Dolphins 20-12. That's a very close affair, if you will. Baltimore Ravens said, you know what? What are you doing, New York Giants? You're trying to go for Shador Sanders or Travis Hunter. They're winning 35-14. 2 minutes in the fourth quarter in that. And in a barn burner, the New York Football Jets, who were eliminated last week by the Miami Dolphins, still playing against a Jacksonville Jaguar team that doesn't have your buddy right there, Trevor Lawrence, winning 25-22. And again,
Jacksonville's getting ready to kick a field goal.
There you go. There you go. So to tie the game up. So that's been an entertaining game.
Guess who's in the game for the Chiefs?
Who's in the game for the Chiefs?
Carson Wentz.
Really? Pat Mahomes is out with an injury.
I don't know. It's 21-7.
Wow. Let's go ahead and get an update on that and other scores around the league. How about those Cowboys? 30-14 over the Panthers. That will be the next opponent on Sunday Night Football on the road in Big D versus the Dallas Cowboys. They're taking care of business. The Panthers have played well, but again, it comes that game or you're a young team, you're playing over your skis, and that's the game today. So we'll keep you abreast of the situation around the National Football League, especially when it comes to injuries and everything else. But we're live here at Ferg's over phone lines, and we want to talk about Bucs versus the Chargers, the 7-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the 8-5 LA Chargers. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Megan here. RIP to Jimmy Wilkerson, who passed on Friday. Defensive player, I believe, for the Chiefs there. Defense has got to tighten up today. Yours true, Baker at times has been decisive with the ball. As he was earlier in the season. When he gets the ball out under 3 seconds, he's successful. Talk about Baker once again when it comes to being a decisive quarterback, and then once again a gift and a curse when you try to do too much, and Baker has done that this year, and hopefully he doesn't do that this game because some bad things will happen.
I'm more worried about him getting hurt.
Okay.
Especially
versus this pass rush today when it comes to Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. So Tristan Wirfs even admitted he's not 100% last week. Whomever, because here he says Khalil Mack they won't face, but Mack in the past has definitely gotten the best of that matchup, getting that one sack. So you hope that if that matchup does happen, that Wirfs will get the best of it. If not, it's Joey Bosa, who's no picnic at the park either.
No. Hey, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Yes.
And
two bookends, we call them.
Exactly. And the biggest problem, and again, let's break this down real simply.
Please.
Okay? Bucs need to get the lead.
Correct.
They don't want to play from behind. Second, they need to establish the running game.
Okay.
They need to establish it early.
Okay. You think Bucky gets the majority of the carries today? You said the share. You said 10-10-10. You think it's going to be shared, or is it going to be White once again? 17 carries for 90 yards last week. Is that where you go? You go with the healthier guy, or do you go with the hot hand who was Bucky Irving before the injury? And how concerned once again are you about that injury when it comes to back trouble, hip trouble, leg trouble? That could become a thing, right? Hopefully it doesn't become a thing. So,
well, yeah, we just got to see, Liam Cohen's probably sitting there going, okay, I got 3 guys I can deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got to decide who those 3 guys are. How am I going to balance these carries? I don't want to overwork any of them.
Okay.
That's the key. And I think you're going to see more of White than anybody else. So,
what do we got?
Washington missed the field goal.
54-yard attempt wide right to every Florida State's nightmare when they hear that wide right there by Washington. So New Orleans still has a chance with a quarterback who,
first game.
Right,
ever.
First game. So he'll have the opportunity there to have a fourth quarter comeback and get the Saints possibly into overtime. And who knows, maybe win it there. Hopefully we can keep it together going to the Panther game at home, Peter. I believe we can pull it out today. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate the comment. Long-time webhead right there. Jason, where you been, my friend? Welcome back. Let's go out to Bigga again. Smash that like button. If you ain't already a subscriber, share this with your friends. Let's run these numbers up. I always love to run the numbers up. Let's go out to Jason again. What do you believe our final record will be? We can do it to win out. Listen, I have made no secret about this, and I'm going to take credit if it happens. I don't work for a radio station. I don't work for a TV station, but I told you at the beginning of the year, I thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be an 11-win team. If they beat the Chargers today,
they got a shot.
They got a shot. Where did you see this Bucs team before the season, and where do you see them now, right now, as we speak?
I said 9-8, 8-9.
Okay.
Right in there.
Right in there. Does that get you in? Because now that you've got to win out because the Falcons have the 2-game lead over you. They have the tiebreaker. And by the way, your buddy Kirk Cousins, I'm not going to the dark side.
Well, get ready because that may change.
0 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 0-4.
And the best thing for the Buccaneers,
yes,
is that the offensive coordinator in Atlanta hasn't figured out what Kirk Cousins' strength is yet.
Right.
And again, when they were 6-3, he figured it out. Then he decided, okay, I got to do what I do. And that's not the good thing.
That is not the good thing. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you're calling from? You're on with yours truly, along with the legend himself, Leo Haggerty, live here from Ferg's.
Hey, Peter, it's Tim.
What's going on, Timmy? How you doing, buddy?
I'm hanging in there, man.
All right. So you ready for this game today?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I got a question for Leo.
Go for it. Shoot it.
How about if we run the ball right at those defensive ends to help slow down the pass rush?
Is that and I think that's where Harry was going with that, Tim. You're exactly right. You've got those athletic specimens, if you will, in a Khalil Mack and a Joey Bosa. Well, how do you get those guys off their mark? You run the ball right at them. It kind of goes back to Simeon Rice, right? Everybody said Simeon Rice can rush the passer, but can he play the run? Can those type of guys, when you look at Bosa, when you look at Mack, can they play the run, or is that where, again, you expose that with that matchup right there?
Here's the problem.
Okay.
70% of the Bucs runs are between the tackles.
Okay.
You're not running at those edge guys.
Right.
You're making your money inside. Now, the Bucs will have to change their philosophy if they're going to run outside. And that's hard to do in 5 days.
Right.
So, yeah, normally, how do you balance out?
Well, do you have a game plan with Bucky Irving? If he's healthy, and he's going to be healthy, he's going to be active because he knows that he has the propensity to run outside. And you've seen that when he gets out into the open there with the electric runs. Can you go outside? Can you change your game plan? Do you think Cohen will have that in the game plan today, specifically to do what Tim and Harry have said, to run right towards those defensive ends?
When you want to diminish speed, you run at it.
Okay.
So it can't go side to side. It's running straight at it.
Okay.
The problem is, if you run right, the guy on the left is coming. If you run left, they got a double-edged sword there.
Yes.
I think what you'll see a lot from the Bucs is misdirection.
Okay.
You'll see them start one way, come back, a lot of reverses, a lot of quick screens, a lot of, smoke screens, those type of things, just to make that defensive end say, okay, I can't just pin my ears back and go.
Right.
I got to be able to play not just this, but I got to get outside because they may be throwing this too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're watching the games right now, Tim. So who's your player of the game, and what's your final score for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer game versus the LA Chargers?
23-20 Bucs, Rashad White.
Rashad White there is the player of the game. No, absolutely. Does he have over 100 yards today? Does this Bucs rushing attack have over 100 yards today? Do they have to have over 100 yards today in order to win, in your opinion?
I'd say yes.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to disagree only for this. They have to have over 20 attempts.
20 attempts, because you got to have the threat to run.
Right.
It's an attitude. You got to have it. Once again, you got to make the defense honest.
The worst thing that can happen is a 65-yard run, and then all of a sudden you get 2 yards.
Right.
You get your 100 yards, but it's 65 in one pop.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Tim. Thanks a lot for the call, man. We'll see you on the post-game edition of the Evolution Live here from Ferg's. All right?
Sounds good.
All right, man. There we go. Let me give him that right there. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. 406 right now. Let's update some of these scores. as we speak.
New Orleans is on the 18-yard line heading in.
Okay, so New Orleans right now trying to tie this game up. And Johnson just caught a pass. Did he catch it or did he not?
He did, but they're running out of time.
They're running out of time here, and this is the problem with going with a rookie quarterback. You know this all too well with having a rookie quarterback.
Oh, no. Get out of bounds.
He is not going to. Are they going to call a flag on that? They're not.
It's incomplete.
They're letting them play. It stops the clock.
What's fourth down?
All right, fourth down and 3 right now with 17 seconds left. Jake Hafner?
I have no idea. I can't even.
I think that's his name. All right, let's go out to Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with the legend himself, Leo Haggerty.
Good afternoon. Leo.
Yeah.
You the main man.
He is. He's the legend. Former coach, scout, and now media member.
Leo.
Yes.
Leo.
Book him, Dano.
Book him,
Leo,
Dano.
I'm not taking nothing away from the San Diego Chargers defense.
Right.
Oh, boy. They got to the 1-yard line and the clock.
We are going to let. We're going to let Bucky get his.
Hold on, Mr. Williams.
In.
Hold on, Mr. Williams. And okay, so hold on. We're updating the game right now. We got you online here. Stand by. We're updating the game. The Saints
are on the 1-yard
line. On the 1-yard line. They're able to get up to the line, spike it. This is a rookie quarterback. Knowing that situation, it's all about situational football. He knew the situation at this point. 5 seconds left to go, so they will at least have 1 to 2 plays.
No, they only one.
One play.
Yeah, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Are you throwing the ball or are you going over the top?
I'm running the football.
Are you running it up the middle or outside?
I'm running it right up the gut.
Okay,
Oh,
so
they're
we.
running through it.
I'm running mine.
And it is a touchdown for the Saints there. As
Now do you go for 2?
well, here's the thing. Now the Saints don't have anything to lose at this point, so they could go for 2. And I would think.
Well, that's Spencer Rattler in the game now.
Oh, excuse me. So Spencer Rattler is in the game.
It looked like it, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're going for 2.
Is that Spencer Rattler?
I think it is.
Okay. Let's see here. All right, a little natural
nice
pick route
nice
there
pick.
to the tight end, or is it the fullback? Looks like the tight end.
Tight
Tight end here. They're going for 2 points here, Mr. Williams. Stand by. We'll get your comments as we got live football here from Ferg's on the Sports
this
Web.
Is it.
No time, untimed down, going for 2 here. This is what I think you got to do if you're the Saints. This is what I thought Todd Bowles should have did versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I know there's some people.
Boy, you better keep talking.
Well, I'm always talking, man. I'm talking.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
Only because of the weather.
Okay.
You know, if it was.
Well, I take my chances at that point because you got that explosive offense. I get it. You're without Chris Godwin, but you got Baker there. You've got White. You got Tucker. You've got Bucky Irvin.
Yeah, man. If we got a chance to keep our feet on Patrick Mahomes' neck, we should have choked him.
Well, I agree with you on that. And you don't want Pat Mahomes to have the ball. And what happens when Pat Mahomes gets the ball in overtime?
You're
not able to stop him. Yeah, exactly. Because you depend on a coin toss at this point.
Yeah.
And it is incomplete. Saints.
No.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
No.
Hold on.
No.
It's over.
It's incomplete.
That's over. Saints lose to the Washington Commanders 20-19.
Guess who makes the play?
Who makes the play?
Lattimore.
Marshawn Lattimore, former Saint, made the play right there. That's why if you're the Washington Commanders, you make that trade. And look at who we got here, Mr. Mark Ferguson of Ferg's Sports Bar and Grill. Mr. Williams, I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you to call back. We're going to get on Mark Ferguson. We'll get him on. Come on here and talk. Come on over here right in front of this camera. Leo, you can share it with them. Yes, absolutely. Let's go out to Mr. Mark Ferguson here, Ferg Sports Bar and Grill on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. We give you your headphones there, Leo, really quick. Right there. There you go. And what's going on, buddy? How you doing? How do you like this football action today?
Oh, this is unbelievable. We have the School Rock out
Get a
back.
little closer there. Get a little bit closer. There you go. Okay.
We got the School of Rock out back having fun with a bunch of kids playing music.
Yeah.
And then we got football all over the place. It's packed. We're having a good time. All the games are close. And I can't wait for the Bucs to come on.
Well, what do you think about this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team? 3-game winning streak. They dispose of, again, the Giants, the Panthers, have trouble with the Raiders, but still able to win that game. They have the momentum right now, Mark. They're in first place at 7-6. How do you feel about this Bucs team versus the LA Chargers today?
I feel very confident that we are going to make the playoffs. Today's a tough game. We're going to have to play very well.
Yes.
But we have a good track record going in the last 3 games, so I think we're going to end up on top, hopefully.
You know, we've been doing this for a long time, since 2019 when we started out on the sidewalks with yours truly, along with Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy, with Bucs Report. Now we're doing our own thing here on the Sports Web along with Amped Up Sports and I Love St. Pete, so we appreciate you having us out here. But talk about why you should come out to Ferg's Sports Bar and Grill in downtown St. Pete on a Sunday, on a Saturday, on a weekend, during a weekday, when the Rays are playing.
Well, first thing, you can bring your dogs with you.
They will love that.
You can bring your kids. You can bring your wife, your girlfriend, whoever.
Yeah.
We have music. We have sports. We have great food, a lot of good drinks, specials. Just come on out, and you'll see we have 110 TVs.
Mm-hmm.
We have a dog park. We have axe throwing. We have a Jumbotron out back.
Axe throwing.
And tonight, we have the Eagles nest upstairs where all the Eagles are gathering, and then we'll have the Bucs throughout the whole house.
Yeah, you got the Eagles, and of course, it versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Rays. There was some conjecture, if you will, Leo word to use that the Rays were going to be leaving, that they could be getting out of the Bay Area, possibly going to Tampa. I know they're going to play at Steinbrenner Field there for next year. What do you think about this whole situation with the Rays? It certainly seems like, once again, it's much to do about nothing. As I said about 10 years ago, the reason why St. Pete will get this deal done is because they hold the leverage, they hold the cards, they have the most money, they have the redevelopment. And, of course, you've got to be happy about the Rays staying here in St. Pete. What are your thoughts on this whole Rays Stadium situation?
Well, we're going to get it done on Tuesday, but we do need your help. The county commission is the last vote that we have to keep the Rays here in town.
Yeah.
We need everybody to email the county commission tomorrow and tell them, get this deal done. It's set in stone. All they need is a 4-3 vote, and we will keep the Rays in St. Pete forever, and we get a huge development along with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Redevelopment, and I think that's why it's going to happen. And again, it's just a foregone conclusion for me. All this is just back and forth nonsense. I think it's going to work in St. Pete. I feel like, in my opinion, if they had better ownership, if ownership wouldn't allow fan favorites to get out, if you sign more free agents, I get it, the Rays at 1, but if you're competing with Yankee and Red Sox fans, you have to do more than what you've done, and you got to go for a World Series championship. But with better ownership, I think that would happen. I don't know what you think about this ownership. I know that you're associated with the Rays. I don't want to put you on the spot, but do you feel kind of like I do when it comes to the ownership here? Kind of like the Bucs and the Lightning. You kind of like to see what they're doing with the Rays.
Well, the Rays, they have their business model when it works.
Right.
They were in the playoffs 5 years in a row. They missed this year, but they do a great job on the field. I want to see them stay in St. Pete. I've heard the team's up for sale. I'm not sure about it. They've done a great job, and we want to keep them here. We need to do everything we can. And with the new stadium, they will be able to afford new players.
Right.
It's going to be a windfall for everybody. We just get that vote through on Tuesday.
Love it. Mark Ferguson, thanks a lot for the time here on the Evolution
Thank
of
you.
Sports Talk Television.
Go
live
Bucs.
here. Yes, go Bucs. Really quick. Score prediction for the Bucs against the Chargers today.
28-24.
Love it. 28-24. Take it to the house right there. Mark Ferguson, owner of Ferg Sports Bar and Grill. Been doing this since 1992. He's got a hell of a place here. Front, back, side, dog parks, food, TVs, football fans. What do you want? You got Saints fans walking around. I feel bad for them right now as they lost. What did you see on that last play? And Mr. Williams, call back if you want to. Please, open phone lines. Also, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391.
They tried to hit a quick out.
Okay.
And it looked like the quarterback overthrew him by like a foot.
Okay.
But, yeah, he was pretty much covered.
Pretty much covered at that point. And you got to go for that, right? You got nothing to lose at that point. You got to go for it.
Yeah, they're out.
Okay. Yeah, they're done. So the Saints are done. You got another Eagle fan walking around right there, as he'll probably get on the There you go. He'll get on there as Leo will congratulate him. We'll see what they can do versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we'll see what this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team can do. How many minutes away here? We got 4:16, so it starts at 4:25. So where's my math at? Where's the math?
9 minutes.
9 minutes. There you go. So 9 minutes.
That's why you had me around.
There you go. Exactly. All right. And also, by the way, I hear there's a rumor that we're going to be covering the ReliaQuest Bowl with the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Not a rumor.
It is not a rumor.
No,
we will be covering the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Michigan Wolverines. Thank you very much to my boss there, Mr. Anthony Giuliani, the real mayor of New York, for giving me off New Year's Eve on a Tuesday, which is weird, but a Tuesday nonetheless, and we will be live there at Raymond James covering it for Amped Up Sports along with the Evolution of Sports Talk Television.
And we'll be there the day before for the coaches conference.
Oh, very nice.
And the food is excellent there, too.
It is. Food's always good. We always love that.
Yeah.
We'll have the gang here. We'll have Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. You never know who we got. Ryan Neal, I believe, also. Travis Bailey out there.
Al Curtis.
AJ Curtis. The whole gang will be back ready to go. All right. So let's see here. Defense needs to tighten up. We read that one. Okay. Let's go out here. Justin Herbert, 14 touchdowns to 1 interception. Bigga, turn that mic up. Yeah, we just kind of 86 that mic. We need BM to have one of those games that he plays like an MVP level, and he's shown that he can play at an MVP type of level. He's shown last year in those critical time of going to Green Bay and having that perfect game, if you will, on the road, perfect quarterback, perfect game. Perfect quarterback. Right, well, that's what you got to do.
The key.
That's my biggest key to this game at this point, running down, is you got to protect Baker Mayfield. You can't allow him to feel that pressure from Khalil Mack or Joey Bosa, because we know when a quarterback feels that pressure, especially in Mayfield, he tends to do things like he did against the Raiders, throwing interceptions and having fumbles. What's your biggest key to this game?
Protect the quarterback.
Okay.
And again, I just don't think the Buccaneers are going to be able to do it.
Okay.
Because they got to get the lead.
Okay.
As long as you're playing with the lead, the running game is still in play.
Okay.
If you get down 7-10, I'm just afraid they're going to panic and start throwing it all over the lot. And that's what you do not want to do, because all of a sudden, look at a guy from Florida State sitting back there in the secondary, James.
Derwin James. And I remember our colleague.
Go ahead, Peter. I led you into this.
Yes, Mr. Sean, the sports don, who would say, the Bucs overcooked the Grits. They should have drafted him.
Oh, yeah. Mahomes got hurt.
Mahomes is hurt there, so they're wrapping his ankle up there. So there's your update right now. As we got a creamsicle Bucs fan walking down, a Kansas City Chiefs fan walking down the sidewalk right there as she walked right in front of the camera. But Pat Mahomes being hurt, but you're exactly right. Sean, the sports don, cringed. He wanted Derwin James to be the pick. Badly. And it didn't happen. He's definitely turned into an all-pro safety for them, and he's somebody that you have to watch and somebody you're going to have to beat in that secondary when you have those wide receivers like an Evans, like a McMillan, and, of course, the Shepard. And you put it out there. Cade Otton, to me, is a big factor in this game.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Cade Otton has to have 5 catches.
Okay.
It's got to. And you know what? I don't remember who brought this up. I think it was Taylor.
Yes.
Got to go deep once a quarter.
You do.
Absolutely, you got to go.
You don't have that facet in your game now. It doesn't seem like you have it.
And you don't have to complete it. You just have to send a message that you'll do it.
Right. I love this. Look at this. You got creamsicle Bucs jersey. You got the dog decked out in a Bucs jersey. You got to love this.
Yeah.
And they're not coming by here because they saw me pointing at them.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Not scared. The Chargers pass rushers against Tristan and Luke Gadecki, who also has to have a good game today. Space Windu, dang. Little beans there. Hey, peeps, let's go Bucs. Let's go Bucs. Let's go. Let's go! Christopher Cole, player of the game, is going to be Cansey. Big congrats to Travis Hunter. Didn't realize he won. It's kind of like Shohei Ohtani, him being a two-way player. It doesn't come along every year. I would let him be a DB, but use him sparingly.
Does that sound familiar?
As an offense. It does, my friend. It does. Great minds think alike. What's up, fellas? Bucs take care of the ball. Definitely feel like we got a chance. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Ben. Feed Mike Evans. I agree with you on that. Bigga says, I think he's hurt. JTS. Leo, best thing to do is run right at those great defensive ends. Correction, JTS participated fully Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in practice. Listed as questionable, so he probably plays. We saw he was not on the inactive list. Great pregame. I'm at lunch. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Mr. Jim. Damn it, Jim. Where's my sound effects?
Damn it, Jim. What the hell's the matter with you?
There it goes. Christopher Cole. Mahomes took a hit. They pulled him out. Me being a stat guy, just compared JTS to Anthony Nelson, who I didn't realize has been a Buck for six seasons. JTS sack total tops out at 5 in 2023. Nelson at 5.5 sacks in 2022 to JTS's 4. This year, Nelson has 3 sacks, JTS 2. Also has more combined tackles, and Bowles says that Nelson is one of his smartest defenders. I don't see why he isn't starting, considering he's done more with the fewer snaps. Good point. Rashad probably will have 100 combined yards. Christopher Cole, Spencer Rattler, that it is. Mahomes limping off the field at the end of the game. Not always a good thing for the Chiefs. Great show, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
As we got 3 games here. Pete, what's up? What's going on, Coach? Law 88. Baker and the offense need to play consistent for 4 quarters.
They just don't need to turn the ball over.
Absolutely. Rob,
gotta
what's
win
up,
turnover.
brother? And Reina says, go Bucks, let's FB. Prediction for the game and player of the game for the Bucks versus the Chargers.
You're not going to like this.
Okay.
1917 Chargers.
All right. I will say I'll be the eternal optimist here. 24-21. Tampa Bay gets it done. They continue this week's winning streak and put themselves in firm control of that NFC South. We got you covered.
If this game was in Tampa, I would change my opinion.
There you go, man. That's how it goes. But you know what? The Bucs are a better road team, 4-2 on the road this year. For the great legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, I'm your host, Peter Blake. 3 things. Enjoy your game. Bucs versus the Chargers. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense.
Just bring me some wings.
We're going to bring some wings. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the sports web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, especially you Bucs fans, it's your time. We'll see you soon.
Enjoy the game
on the evolution of Sports Talk Television.